a habit anyway? It's something, a behavior that you repeat, repeat, and repeat until it becomes automatic.
Today, I have with me a very special guest, Veronica, the Vice President of Education at AICI Global. What's the real difference between a quick makeover and a transformation that sticks?
So motivation is key. You have to understand what brings the person here. Why is she or he hiring an image consultant?
Wardrobe is the mirror of your personality. Your wardrobe says a lot about you.
I think your wardrobe or your office or maybe your house can reflect the way you are living. Sometimes we get disorganized. What is that describe you today? Which is the future identity that you want? Do you get anxious when you are invited to some social? It's difficult to see an entrepreneur, for example, with very tight clothes or high heels, because entrepreneurs usually move a lot. They do a lot of things.
5 strategies to build lasting style habits. So, what are some easy routines anyone can start right away?
My first recommendation is start with preparing your clothes the night before.
If you peeked into your wardrobe right now, what's that one piece that totally reflects Veronica? We would love to hear some deeper wisdom from you. What's the ripple effect of style habits on self-confidence? Namaste and hello to everyone. Welcome to India's first and only podcast dedicated to image, presence, and style psychology. I'm your host, Ruchi Raj, a fashion technologist turned image consultant and founder of Poised Presence. In this space, we don't just talk fashion, we explore identity, first impressions, in the art of intentional dressing, and bring learnings from experts around the globe. Today, I have with me a very special guest, Veronica, the Vice President of Education at AICI Global. Veronica is based out of Argentina and has built her expertise across the world, from specializing in image consulting at FIT New York to advanced training in colorimetry at Studio Imagine in Sao Paulo and political and executive image at Milson Obel in Buenos Aires. She's an internationally certified image consultant with a rich background in advising and training women on their personal and professional image. Her focus has always been on enhancing self-esteem and well-being through image, using practical methods like building new dressing habits, mindful clothing consumption, and effective wardrobe organization. With such an incredible global journey, Veronica, I would love to start by asking what inspired you to step into the world of image consulting, and how has that journey shaped the way you help people today?
Well, thank you very much, Ruchi, for having me here and for inviting me to your amazing podcast. I'm very honored and happy to be here sharing with you. So, well, what made me step into image consulting? Um, I can tell you a very short story uh, about when, after having my second child, like a while ago, I was staring one day at my closet and I was starting to see. I was bored. All my clothes were like neutrals, grays, blacks, and many comfortable things that I didn't have to think of wearing because I was busy being a mom. But my son was growing, and I would say, "Oh my God, I'm so bored. I need to do something about this." So that's why I started taking a course first in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, where I live, in image consulting, just for myself, to help myself. But when I started, I discovered a new world with possibilities. I wanted to make a shift in my career, and I said, okay, how can I use this to help other women to use color, maybe? Because color is an important part of our life. And sometimes it's difficult to wear it. So I was at that moment of my life, and I say, okay, I want to change it. So I start studying in Buenos Aires, making friends, and meeting another image consultants in the same path or in a different path, but we met at some point. So we start practicing, color, you have to practice color analysis. Um, Then, well, we practice with every person that was available because you need to make experience. So with experience, you get better. And then I decided to go to the FIT, to the Image Resource Center in New York for a very intensive week. I didn't have time to go away for a long time because I had my kids, but I managed to go for a week and then continue the education online with Dominique Isbeck. She's one of the founders of AICI, which is the association in where we meet. We met in Manila last April, I think. So my journey started there. Then I studied in Studio Image in Brazil. I did a color specialization and studied political image, as you said, here in Buenos Aires. And started a business by started working with women, also men at first. But then I decided that I preferred working with women uh, because I like helping women um, achieve a better version of themselves. And I think image is very related to well being. So that's pretty much my journey. And I joined AICI in the middle, of course. Here we are. I can listen to you. Sorry.
Yes. No,
Oh, okay.
I'm saying it's amazing to know the journey that, and it also says that it's never too late to start for anything. So,
Yeah.
and it's always a great idea to just get into something that you want to, and you never know which world you'll get exposed to. So, I'm
Yeah.
glad you explored that, and I'm glad you joined AICI, and we met because of that in the global conference of AICI 2025, and I think that's how we connected, and that's how we are here today. So it's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing the journey, and I'm pretty sure we are gonna take a lot of insights from this journey to let the
Yeah.
audience learn, know, and have a lot of takeaways from the same. So, with this, I would love to step into the next question, which is about today's topic, and that is sustainable habits for image transformations, or rather, sustainable style habits that we all need to build to make any transformation sustainable and not like just short lived or quick hacks. All right, so I think we'll just step into the very first question around this, the topic that we are going to speak about. So, why do you think habits are the core of personal style today, or maybe any day? And how building sustainable habits is utmost important while working on any image transformation or any image aspect of a human. So, anything that you would love to share on that?
Okay. Well, this is a very important question, but because I think habits are key in every aspect of our lives, and personal style is one of these aspects. So, what is a habit anyway? It's something, a behavior that you repeat, repeat, and repeat until it becomes automatic. You don't have to think about, well, I need, for example, brush my teeth in the morning. You just do it. So, as image consultants, we can help our clients create sustainable habits regarding their personal style, the way they dress, the way they shop, the way they organize their closet. But we have to be very careful to explain them and give them tools so that they can uh, become persons that uh, put into practice all these tools repeatedly. And at first they are going to need discipline and motivation. Yeah, we can talk about motivation later because it's very important. But we need to follow up on them. We don't just give them some tools and leave it to them. We have to give them tools to practice the things, because if they don't internalize these new behaviors, they are going to forget everything we say. Okay. I heard many times people that come and say, I once saw an image consultant and she or he gave me a PDF document and it is in my computer. I don't remember anything. I never put anything into practice, or I did it the first week and I forgot later because it wasn't internalized. Do you know? That's why it's so important to work in helping our clients achieve the goals and incorporate sustainable habits related to how they dress, how they shop, how they organize.
True, true. I think, yeah, the one point that you mentioned about internalization, I think that's super important in not just image aspect, but anything that we do. I think that needs to like really be a part of our selves from within. And habits can be, and it's very interesting to know that habits can be that big tool to align that internal and external belief or practice, right? So with this, I'm very curious to know further, your ways, your tricks, and your tips that you're gonna share with us today. And with this, I would like to move on to the next question, and that is about habit versus quick fixes in image. And as we speak about that, so we all love quick fixes, right? But we all love those shortcuts and, like basically anything that just is done in minutes and seconds. But in image and style, they don't usually last because I believe that they are not internalized that way that it should last, right? So, what's the real difference between a quick makeover and a transformation that sticks? And maybe you would like to share some client experience or your personal experience or example where habits really change someone's style journey in long term.
Yes, of course. Well, I love this question because I was thinking, um, we all love those TV shows, that extreme makeover, or I'm sure you sometimes watch something like that because it's really fun to see a bunch of stylists transform a person. Um, but what happens when those stylists are not there anymore? Even though if this person got to keep all the clothes, you know, uh, that is a quick fix, as you mentioned. But when we as image consultants receive a client, the most important thing we need to do first and learn is understand what the motivation of this client is. Why is he coming or she coming to us? You know, because the motivation is key for that person to change, to incorporate new habits, sustainable habits. I can share you a story. I was thinking a story of a client of mine. She's a very dear client because she continues her experience and she wants really to improve. But when she first came to me, sorry, like, I don't know, I think it was 5 years ago, the first time that we met, because it was before the pandemic. So, yes, it's been a while. So she came to me recommended by another person, like usually happens with image consultants, at least here. And she said, okay, I love clothes. I love getting dressed. I love to shop, but I'm spending a lot of money in a lot of clothes. And half of the clothes are hanging in my closet, even with their tags on. And I need to improve my financial situation. That's why I came. So she decided to invest in an image consultant for the recommendation of a friend who was shopping with me. And she found out that if you hire an image consultant, you don't have to spend money a lot. Maybe you spend less. Maybe you invest in a service that helps you improve your finances, improve the way you shop. So my client's motivation was, I need to improve my financial situation. I have a lot of clothes. I'm spending a lot of money in my clothes. And why? She was doing that because sometimes she bought clothes because she was unsure. She was not sure what to wear to different occasions. She wanted to feel validated with a new outfit. And sometimes she even bought things she never used because she saw on the window shop, and then it's not the same when you try it that when you saw maybe in another person. Okay. So you have to understand the motivation of your client. And from that, you can help your client to make sustainable changes because you have to remind them you started with this. So what happened with her? Okay, we make an agreement. You say, okay, for the next 6 months, you are not going to buy anything new, even though you have different social occasions, work travel, work meetings, because I knew what she had in her closet. She had a lot. So, because sometimes you can have a client that doesn't have many clothes, but it wasn't the case. So the challenge here was for her not to go buy, okay, not to buy new outfits. But what happened? She started creating things, creating new outfits with the things she already had. So she started to feel like motivated in a different way. It was not just saving money or getting her financials better. It was about, okay, I can be a creative person and enjoy and develop my personal style with all the things I have. And she started also seeing that she had a lot of things that she didn't need, but that's a different story. But you know, so motivation is key. You have to understand what brings the person here. Why is she hire or he hiring an image consultant? What she needs to fix. And you have to remind that client because sometimes they forget. You have to make a plan. For example, 6 months, you don't buy anything in this case. And after that, we renew that and we say, okay, let's go for another 6 months because season change. And so was I clear?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Yes, of course, it's more like a lifestyle adaptation. It's not like quick fixes that does the makeover and you are just transformed. That can work for maybe an occasion, that can work for maybe an event, but that cannot work you feeling yourself for longer term. And I think
Yeah.
that makes an individual all the more, it gives all the more reasons to have understand your personality, the style personality, and build habits, and to go towards those sustainable transformation rather than the quick fixes. So now I would say it's more like a reflection time for all of us, and to think about our own closet, and
Yeah.
maybe kind of decipher if we are in the quick fix camp or we are in the sustainable habit camp. So to the audience, it's more like a wardrobe raid. Just go and have a look and try to figure out which category you're falling into. So yeah, I think that can be a great takeaway for and a great discovery about ourselves in that case.
Mm.
So
Yeah. Maybe the audience finds out that in some aspects of their life, in some activities, they are going for the quick fix, and in another, they are more like sustainable. So it's a good exercise. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and I think it's a balance. Sometimes you need to have those, but it's important to have the long term habits too. So
Yeah.
it's a good starting point, I would say, for anyone to explore about themselves. So because as we say, the wardrobe is the mirror of your personality. Your wardrobe says
Yeah.
a lot about you. So why not to start with this? It's like a self discovery.
Yes,
All right.
that is great.
So we'll move on to the next question, and that is about, could you shed some light on habits based on outcomes and habits based on identity, and how does having a strong sense of identity help people make more sustainable style make help people make more consistent style choices? So we would love
Yes.
to understand the difference and how we can work on that.
Yes. Well, I love this concept of habits based on identity. And I first read about this in a book that I recommend that maybe you know it, but it's pretty famous. The author is James Clear, and the book is Atomic Habits. So it's very enlightening. I read it many years ago. But when he talks about identity, well, he explains that you can acquire habits. Um, he invites you to think in an onion, that it has layers. Okay. So the first layer is when you try to incorporate a new habit based on the outcomes in the goal you want to achieve. I can think of an example, a simple example, and then we move maybe to style. But for example, if you want to run a marathon in 6 months, okay, if you start developing your habits based on the goal that is running the marathon, you're going to start to run every day because you want to run a marathon. So if I ask you, why do you run, Ruchi, every day? Because I want to run a marathon in 6 months. You are changing based on your goals, okay? But what happens when you achieve the goal? You have to maintain that habits, and maybe you don't have any more motivation. Maybe. But what happens when you try to change your habits and incorporate a new habit based on identity? Maybe you start running because you want to become a runner. So yes, you can run the marathon, but after that, you're going to be a runner anyway. So keep running. So this is more sustainable, more long term, because you are shifting the way you see yourself. And it can apply to anything, because you can start, or your client can come here and say, okay, I want to make a quick fix, or I want to improve my image because I want to get a new position. I need to make an important travel for my company, or I have I don't know, my birthday party or my wedding or anything. But what is your client asking? To change just for one occasion, or do they want to stick with that? So that is important. Then is when motivation comes in, and when you need to try to understand if your client is trying to shift their behavior long term and shift their identity. I have an example. Maybe it's better. I once had a client that was a corporate woman. She worked in a corporation for like, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years. She got divorced and had a kid. So she was doing a lot of things, but she wasn't happy anymore being a corporate woman. So she decided she wanted to be an entrepreneur. She wanted to work by herself. So there you have a shift in identity. So her personal style had to move with her to this new identity that she wanted. Because it's difficult to see an entrepreneur, for example, with very tight clothes or high heels, because entrepreneurs usually move a lot. They do a lot of things. So she was maybe working at home in some meeting, then she had to go for a meeting with a client, and then she had to pick her son at school. So her clothes have to accompany her in all those activities. But she was decided to change and to make a transformation in her wardrobe because her identity shifted to an entrepreneur. You know, that's the difference. So that is sustainable.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And when you mentioned this concept, I honestly remember. So James Clear has taken this concept from one of the authors who has written this book, "How to Fail at Everything and Yet Succeed in Life." The
Yeah.
founder of Dilbert Comics. So I have read that book
Yeah.
too, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
same concept he has explained, and James Clear has actually picked this concept from there, and he has mentioned,
Yeah.
acknowledged
Okay.
also. Yeah, so it says the goal versus system. So he names identity based as system, and there were two things that we were talking about, right? The identity based habits and the
Goal.
situation, the goal and the situation based habits. So similarly, he explains goal versus system. So when we set goals, we are just motivated until that goal happens or until that goal is succeeded. But when we build a system, we go beyond and beyond, and we never know the limits that we might achieve more than the goal than we thought for ourselves. So that's how I totally resonated when you were saying about this, because that is one of the practices that, with time I've incorporated, and I try to kind of explain and make people understand that how the building going towards a system is more sustainable than going towards a goal. And
Yeah.
And I totally agree when you say that it when you have identity based habits, it's just something that can take you to another level you don't even know. That's also one of the realities of having this
Yeah.
practice.
And
Yeah, and
also a good thing, sorry to interrupt,
yeah,
but I was thinking that the other way, you can, for example, because it's difficult to change habits. If you
yes,
want to change a habit you already have. So sometimes you can think, or you can think for your client. Describe how do you see yourself? How do you see your identity today? Are you a energetic person? Are you a positive person? Are you a social person? What is that describe you today? Which is the future identity that you want? Because in that difference, you can work towards what you want to achieve, what you want to incorporate. Do you see yourself like you are, for example, a person that it doesn't get noticed when you enter a room? Is the identity that you think you have? Maybe it's not true, but maybe the person thinks, yes, uh, nobody noticed me. Okay, what type of clothes are you wearing? Well, I'm always in neutrals, black. Okay. Would you like to be more noticeable? Yes, I would like to be remembered. Okay, so we can help you incorporate maybe some color, some statement piece, and you will be remembered. That's a start. Then you have to work on what you say, the people you are with, but that's a start for image consultants, Think, how do you see today? How do you want to see yourself tomorrow?
true. Yeah, it's more like
Yeah.
working towards the longer vision and the goal. So
Yeah.
yeah, and thank you for sharing this. And I think with all the examples of your clients and the book, I think you really explained it very clearly and in a very crisp manner of what it actually means and what's the difference. So we would have some takeaways from you further on this of how to build those habits and what are those like maybe the starting points from where we can build on that. So but before that, there's another question to you, and that is about how
Mhm.
do you, being an image consultant for so long and having that experience, how do you think image consultants can help individuals recognize and change non-functional habits in the way they shop, dress, or even discard clothes, and maybe be more mindful as an individual? So, how do you think they play an important role towards that education or guidance?
Okay. Well, I think um, we all receive clients that want to change or are going through some changes. But what happens sometimes is that you start making them think about their image. For example, when I receive a new client, I give themselves like a questionnaire, some questions, so they can start at home thinking about their image, their personal style, how they feel, how they think another see them, how they see themselves. And it happened to me that sometimes people can't answer those questions. They get uncomfortable because I never think about this. So I don't want to think about it. I just want to go with you. That's the quick fix. No, you as a personal stylist, as an image consultant, you need to help them take a moment from life that we all are running everywhere and maybe not thinking and multitasking. But you have to take a moment to think and reflect and ask yourself or your client that question. When do you shop? Do you shop when you are angry? Do you get anxious when you are invited to some social thing? So you go to the shopping and buy whatever you find first? Or are you a person that maybe don't go to a place because you have nothing to wear or you don't know what to wear? So you want to start asking those questions to understand what is the relation, sorry, that this person has with their clothes, their wardrobe, the way they shop, their consumption habits. Because it says a lot. Uh, you can receive a client that loves shopping, and many times that happens. But I receive many clients that hate shopping, but they know they need to update their wardrobe or have more powerful clothes for their work, for example. But they are anxious, so maybe they go buy anything that they don't need or they are not going to wear. So as an image consultant, you have to help them. Okay, stop, reflect. Sometimes I say to them, don't buy anything for the next month, because we need to talk about this. We need to see what you have, what you need, what you want. And then we can see, okay, let's go shopping, or you can go shopping with my guidance. But first, you need to stop and reflect, like anything in life. If you want to know where you start or where you want to go, you need to stop and reflect.
True. Yeah, agree. That's very important.
Yeah. You are
Yes,
like
and
psychologists sometimes. We are not, but sometimes we need to coach.
yeah.
Well, some image consultants are also coaches, so coach. So
Yeah, and I think it's a holistic approach, as we always talk about.
yeah,
It's definitely something which is more about an alignment of your inner self with your external presence. And
of
hence
course.
the pause and the reflection is very important to even understand that where we are before starting with what we want next, right? That's also a very important step to know where we are right now, so
Yeah,
that how much effort is required to reach somewhere. So that is something which is again, of course, we as image consultants do. So you are definitely right when you say that sometimes we just become mind readers, sometimes we just become psychologists, sometimes we become coaches, life coaches,
yeah,
and whatnot. So yeah,
yeah.
I think this the explanation that you had answered part of my question. The next question that I have is, do you think our wardrobe is a mirror of our habits and values? If yes, then how, according to you, an image consultant or maybe any person, say, can help themselves, or an image consultant can help some individual analyze this deeply? Maybe what are those steps that you would like to suggest? What are those initial first few things that we need to do that pause and the reflection for our wardrobe reflection? Any
Okay.
suggestion?
Yes. Well, I think the wardrobe says a lot about that. How I think your wardrobe or your office or maybe your house can reflect the way you are living. Sometimes we get disorganized and we are full of activities, and our wardrobe maybe is like kind of messy because our life is messy and we don't have time for ourselves. It happens, but you need to see that and adjust that, because when you organize your house, your wardrobe, your office, when you tidy up, you feel better. No, do you agree? Yeah. So we need to help our clients with this. So it's great if your client allows you to go into their wardrobe, but sometimes they don't want it. So you can do it in person, you can do it online, you can ask them to send you pictures of their wardrobe if they don't want you there, because sometimes it's happens, it's a private place. But one thing I recommend, for example, for a disorganized wardrobe, that can so that this person is really not in control of what's happening with her personal style or his personal style, or maybe his work, family, we don't know. But something is missing there because they don't have the time to take care of themselves. So maybe they say to you, okay, I always wear the same outfit or more or less the same things because I don't have time to put together an outfit in the morning. So my first recommendation is start with preparing your clothes the night before, for example, if you leave early in the morning for your job or your activities. Okay. But to prepare an outfit and not be there like for 2 hours that nobody has, you need to have an organized closet. So that leads to another advice. Maybe the person can start, for example, with a wardrobe check once a week, let's say. Every Saturday that maybe you have more time, Take 15 minutes, 30 minutes. It depends on the person and the kind of disorganization to check your wardrobe. See what happened during this week. Is everything disorganized because you didn't have time, you didn't know what to wear, and everything is messy now. So you need to tidy up, organize, so you can start your week better. But you have to make the time in your agenda for this, because if not, you are not going to do it. So we can talk about how to help the person make that time. But a small thing they can do is start with a closet check once a week. It doesn't have to be 2 hours because it's too long. They are not going to do it.
True.
Did I
Yeah.
answer the question?
Yes, yes, and I
Yeah.
think we are gonna go deep. We are gonna deep dive it with those five habits that we were talking
Yeah.
about. I would say five strategies. So,
Yeah.
I think I'm landing to the next question, which will be more like an extension to this answer, is making it more practical and trying to understand what are those steps that we can exactly take. Right. So. Let's talk about the five strategies that I know you believe in, and we would love to have this from you. That five strategies to build lasting style habits, and going one by one to each. And I would like to just mention that repetition, triggers, stacking, designing your environment, and communities.
Mm.
So how does these five strategies help us build the style habits? Maybe we can start with the first one, and that's repetition. So how do you think, how does repetition help make style second nature of us?
Okay. Well, yes, these tools are really, really important tools that we can use with our clients if we want to help them make sustainable habits and changes. So you remember that when we talk about a habit, it's something that we do repeatedly until it becomes more or less automatic. These five strategies can help your client a lot. Okay. So remember that the habit is something that we do repeatedly. So repetition is important so we can acquire a new habit, incorporate it. For example, if you have a client that uh, tells you, let's assume it's a woman, and she says, okay, I always wear black, but my motivation is I want to wear color because I want to be seen, as we talked before. Okay. So we cannot go to this client and say, okay, if you want to wear color, I will explain you how the color wheel works. And then this week you have to wear complementary color combination or monochromatic looks, because she's going to look at that and say, okay, how can I do that? I don't have colors in my closet. I have a few things and I don't understand because I always wear neutrals or black. So we have to start small and make her repeat small things so she can commit, because it's easy. We can say, for example, to her, okay, this week you need to pick a color garment, just one color garment that you have or color accessory. Okay. And your commitment is to wear this color 3 times this week, for example, because maybe she has only one thing or two. And we don't want to send her shopping. We want her to start wearing what she already has in color. If it's a scarf, let's be a scarf. Maybe she can wear it in her neck, another day in her purse. We can give her ideas, but she starts wearing the color repeatedly and in an easy way. So you have to repeat and make it easy and not very complicated. That can be the first week. Maybe the second week, we can add color in the makeup and say, okay, this week we are going to wear color in an accessory, maybe your lipstick. So it depends on the person. We have to be flexible to be able to help them, no? Because some people go faster, some people got maybe scared, or they are going to say, I don't have time to do what you say. Okay, it's a small and you need to repeat it. Okay, because when you repeat, we start incorporating it. So that's the first tool. Is it okay?
Yeah, that's so right. That it's like a repeat until it becomes a it just becomes automatic. And yeah, starting
Yeah,
small is something that can really help. And I think that can also keep you motivated, because when you start small you achieve something and then you become
yeah,
motivated to do more, rather than having
yeah,
that big chunk and just getting demotivated at the first day. So
yeah,
uh, definitely, that's a I think that's a great tip, I would say, for anyone who wants to start with any habit regarding style, or for that matter anything that any person wants to start with. So let's talk
yeah.
about the next strategy, and that is triggers. So what's a good way to use triggers in our daily dressing, or build habits regarding to
Mm,
dressing and style?
okay, I love triggers because they usually work that well. For example, if you want to go to the gym in the morning, the better thing you can do is to leave your clothes prepared next to your bed. So you wake up, you don't have to think, you just put your clothes and go. Well, maybe it needs a discipline and effort, but it's one thing that you don't have to think what to wear. And the same happened with, let's follow this example, this woman. She needs to remember that she committed to wear, the color scarf or the color garment 3 times this week or 5 times or whatever we tell her to do. So she needs to see it. Triggers are mostly visual, you know. If we tell her, okay, so set a place in your bedroom or dressing room, whatever she has in her house, put a chair, always the same chair in the same place, and you prepare your outfit. Maybe at the beginning, her outfit's going to be very neutral with a pop of color as we are working, but everything has to be there. She needs to have this accessory or this color garment in a place where she can see before leaving the house. That's the trigger. Because if not, she say, okay, it was at the back of the drawer. I didn't see it. I forgot. It was under, I don't know, a pile of clothes. No, you have to see it. That's the trigger. Most triggers are visual and they work very well. But we have to help her build the system. The system will be the chair in the same place, put everything together the night before, maybe, you know? It depends on their routines.
Yeah, yeah. That's so right. And that's like so nicely you have broken down into like very objectively of what can be done. And those are the visuals, yes. When you were saying,
Yeah.
I was just actually recalling that it actually happens. If we have it there, we'll just make sure to do
Yeah.
things automatically. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. I think this is getting very interesting as we are moving to the next strategies. And with that, I would like to know the next love to hear about on the next one is habit stacking. And I know
No.
we all it's a major topic in the Atomic Habits. We have been reading about habit stacking. So habit stacking is a big buzzword also, I would say. Like it's so much around now. So, how can we apply it to our personal style, or maybe how we can apply it to become more authentic in our styles?
Yes. Well, um, I think habit stacking is a really amazing tool because it can orient you towards your goal and the change of your identity. That's what we are wanted to get. So, for example, if we continue with the example that we say, okay, let's let's tell our clients something so simple that looks so simple, just prepare your clothes. It doesn't happen always. People don't do that. That's why they're in the morning, they are rushing. But if they start organizing themselves through these tools, they will have more time, for example, in the morning to be with their kids, have a nice breakfast, go to work in an easily way, be more focused on their work because they didn't have to think what to wear, if they are okay, if they didn't forget anything, they look fine. So the habit stacking is a very important tool because, as we say, we can say our client, okay, prepare a chair with your garments the night before, let's say. But that person needs to remember to do that. How is she going to remember and not go into bed and say, oh my God, I didn't prepare anything? Okay, I will do it in the morning, and maybe in the morning she's in a rush and she forgets. So We have to identify. Yeah, yeah. Do you relate? It happens
Yeah,
to all of us. Oh my God,
true.
I forgot that. I can't
Yeah.
sleep now. Okay. Okay. So we need to identify a habit this person already has, something this person automatically does already. So maybe that's why we need to have a conversation and say, what is your routine the night before? Well, maybe she says, okay, at 7 p.m., I check my agenda for the next day and see what my meetings are, my activities. Do I go to a social thing after work? Do I have an important meeting that I need to look uh, more powerful or more accessible? No. So it depends on the client, but she says, okay, I check my agenda. Well, so habit stacking would be, okay, you have a habit that is checking your agenda. You don't think about that. You just do it at 7 p.m. So after that, you put the new one, the one that you are trying to incorporate. That would be prepare your outfits. So you have agenda, prepare your outfit. Okay, so you start piling it, stacking it. But after the one that you are trying to acquire, that is prepare your clothes in advance, put the color and everything we are talking with this example, we need to give this person a reward. So between the agenda and after the agenda and the preparing of the clothes, she needs to have a reward. Maybe a small thing that she enjoys or he enjoys. Maybe after preparing her garments, she has a nice bath, or she has 10 minutes to read a book, or she gets a drink with her husband. We don't know. So we have to ask her, what would you like to do at the end of the day? It doesn't have to be very long, but it has to be like a reward. Like when you go to the gym and say, okay, I'm going to take a nice bath because I did a 1 hour workout. And it's a motivation. So the habit stacking in this case would be a habit you already have, maybe checking the agenda, the habit you want to incorporate in the middle. It would be preparing the garment the night before in the chair, visual, everything when you can see it, where you can see it, and the reward. But the reward, the important thing, that the reward has to be immediate. It doesn't, okay, if I prepare my outfit today, I tomorrow will have a quiet or more time for breakfast because it's too far away. The brain wants to compensation in the moment. And
Agree.
that's something that can help.
Yeah. Tiny, tiny habits
Yeah,
one by one, and one
one
leads
by
to the
one.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can use it in personal style.
Yes,
We
yes.
can use it a
That's
lot because,
It's a very, I think it's a very different perspective that you shared with habit stacking. We never hear about this, especially in terms of personal style.
yeah,
So thank you so much for
yeah,
sharing this perspective and actually using this tool, which is kind of known by many of us, but how to implement that or even to
yeah,
think that this can be implemented here is something very interesting to learn from. So yeah, I
yeah.
think. I think again we are almost unfolding each of the strategies, and with this we'll move to the next one, and that is
Mm.
how does designing your environment, like your wardrobe space, or the shape of it, or anything like any space if we talk about. So basically, the environment shape better style choices. So more like how does designing your environment, like your wardrobe space, shape better style choices for individuals?
Oh, yes. I love this one. And I think it's really important because if we or our client wants to wear more color or wear more accessories or anything that she's trying to incorporate, but she can't find them, for example, everything is disorganized, or maybe she has a lot. So,
True.
new things, the things she wants to use on, or she's trying to incorporate, or he's trying to incorporate, need to be accessible
Yeah.
and they need to see. It's like when you have, I don't know, maybe jewelry. If you have a lot of jewelry, but it's all mixed up, you don't have the time maybe in the morning to choose a pair of earrings because everything is disorganized. Or maybe you
Yeah.
forget because it's in a drawer that you never. So you have to have things organized, visual, and easy accessible, like anything in life. So
Yeah.
that's designing the environment. And you need to have there what you are really going to use. Because sometimes clients have, okay, no, I have all these accessories because they belong to my grandmother, and that's very nice. But maybe they say, I don't wear them because I don't find the occasion. Okay, so maybe you can have them in another place for a special occasion, but you don't need to see all this every day because it's a lot of information and your brain has to think a lot to choose an accessory or a garment. So your life gets more complicated. You need more time, you need to make more decisions, and it's easier for you to um, do the same every day. That's when they come and say, I have like 10 suits, but I always wear the same one because it's the easy. And the others maybe are at the bottom of the wardrobe. Maybe they are not in good conditions. Maybe they have wrinkles because they don't use. They have everything, stuck there. And you need to have a space so things can flow, that you can see them and you can wear. You can prepare them to wear in the other day. That's
Yeah.
designing the environment in this case.
True. Yeah, that makes so much sense that they need to be visual to even and accessible, of course, to even
Yeah,
make those choices out of it. All right, or maybe yeah, organize it in a way that, for example, the occasional, just organize it in that place, and you know that you don't have to look at them daily, and then some having something which you wear daily in a separate segment, so that you know that you need to use them for your daily wear. So yeah,
yeah.
this is
That's
again.
another one. Yeah, you made me realize once I had a client, sorry I interrupt. I
Yeah.
have a client that she says, okay, I have so many pants that I don't wear because I don't have time, but I want to. Okay. So we designed her closet and she had like a rack, and every week, because she was motivated to do it, she put there the 3 or 4 pants she wanted to use, trousers. So um she knew that she had to go there this week and use it. It was like a challenge. Some clients like to play with this. My challenge this week is to wear each day a different color in my pants, for example, or in my suit, because I have the clothes, but
Yeah.
I forget to wear. So you design the environment. Okay, everything that is here, I'm going to use this week.
Yes.
That's another one. I remember
Yeah.
that one now.
No, that's an amazing example to kind of show that how practically it can be implemented in our daily living
Yeah.
style.
I
Yeah.
love practical and simple. I love to work like that with clients. Maybe it's not for every client, but I feel comfortable working with small challenges that can last, that can help them make changes in a practical way, not very complicated.
Yeah, yeah, true. It's always, I think, yeah, breaking down things into smaller steps and then building on one by one is definitely something that helps us as humans, because
Yeah,
that kind of motivates us and also not overwhelms at the same time that you have to do a lot. So, yeah, with
yeah.
this, we are almost at the last strategy, and that is finally, what role do groups or communities play in helping people stay motivated throughout the transition and even after that?
Okay, that's a very good one because sometimes uh, your client can commit to herself or himself. They can commit to you. But for example, if they commit to a group, they are more motivated because they belong maybe to a color community that an image consultant can create. Maybe you have at the same time, or not in the same time, but you have clients that come to you because they want to know how to wear color. So you can create a community and make challenges for them. So any kind of challenge. Okay, let's say this is Blue Week. So everyone has to wear blue some day of the week or 2 days of the week or any challenge you can give them. And you have to send pictures. So that's create community and a sense of belonging with people working towards the same goal, that it would be wearing more colors, for example. No, you have to, as an image consultant, you can create a lot of things. You can create an online group, you can create a monthly uh, gathering in presence when people share their experience. So they belong to a group and it can help make lasting changes and it can help with the commitment, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally agree with the commitment part that you said. That when you commit to a group, you are
Yeah.
more consistent in showing up. So that's a
Yes.
great. That's a great
That's,
takeaway, I would say, for image consultants and as well as individuals.
of course.
For image consultants, create the communities. For individuals, join the communities. So that's something which really helps
Mm.
us in building habits and being consistent with our
Yeah.
uh, whatever is
That,
our next system, or whatever is our goal, or what is the next step that we want to take in our lives. So
yeah.
thanks for sharing all the wisdom, the practical aspects on all the 5 strategies on working on our habits, especially for style. And then I totally know how much you love practicality and making things like a practical tool. So let's get into that, of some practical tools for clients or for individuals out there listening to this. So what are some easy routines anyone can start right away, according to
Okay.
you?
Okay. Yes, the thing with image consultants that sometimes we think something is easy, but it's not. Maybe, for example, it can seem obvious to prepare the outfit the night before, but it's not. Not everyone does that because if not so many people would be rushing in the morning. But preparing the garments the night before would be an easy routine. Do a wardrobe check weekly would be another one that I believe, because sometimes it gets messy during the week. You don't have time, you have many things to do, but you have to make a stop and organize yourself. I think
Yeah.
that there are easy routines that anyone can achieve if they propose. It doesn't require a lot of energy to do that. But the important thing is that you prepare a time in your week and in your day and a specific time to do it. Let's say every Saturday morning, I will check my closet, organize, and see if my clothes and my outfits are ready for next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But set a time and a day. That would be an easy one to start.
All right. Yeah, and that's easy, and somehow we anyway do it. It's just that giving it a disciplined time to it
Yeah.
to make it more organized. All right. And how do you suggest clients stay motivated, or how do you say suggest anyone stay motivated when excitement fades? Because that's
Mm.
the bitter truth of any transformation, any new habit, any new change, that after certain time the excitement might fade or you lose the motivation. So how do you
Yeah.
stay motivated in those times?
This is a real challenge for all of us in every aspect, no? Because we start really motivated and then you have to keep be motivated. So discipline is important because we are not going to be motivated every day. But one thing that I did in another aspects of my life and I transfer here is that um, remember why you started. You can tell your client, remember why you came here. Do you remember my client that wanted to improve her finances by not spending so much money on clothes? Okay. So remember what is your principal motivation, the most important motivation that you have, because sometimes clients come with a lot of them. No? What is the most important for you? It's like feeling more confident, showing up uh, in a memorable way. So you have to remember, and maybe you can write a sign for that. Okay. I want to improve my finance. I want to feel confident with my outfit. And that sign, you can post it in whatever part of your house, your wardrobe you want, your office. So when you start fading away and not wanted to do, not wanted to prepare your outfit or think what I'm going to wear to this meeting. So remember why you start with this process, because this is a process. You can't change from the night to the morning. So maybe a visual clue. Okay, I have a sign and it says, okay, I'm doing this because of this. That's a good thing that I practice with myself and with some clients, and it works. Sometimes it doesn't because we are humans, but I think it's a good start. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's more like
Yeah.
reflecting and just thinking on where we started from. And you won't
Yeah.
believe, I did this one podcast with one of the directors of one of the best colleges of fashion in India. So
Wow.
we were talking about leadership in that, and this was one question that I had from him, that how do you motivate your team members when they get demotivated? And you won't
Mhm.
believe it, exactly same answer that he mentioned, that it's pausing and thinking and making them think from where we started, why we started. And when you
Mm.
translate this concept here, it makes so much of, it makes like, it brings in so much of wisdom to that, and kind of assures it more that it's very important to stop. Maybe if something is just not going in the way you want it, just stop and then just think why you started, think what was the vision with which, and align yourself again with that vision. And I think that can be so
Yeah.
helpful in
Yes.
any kind of vision that you're having. So thank you for sharing that. I think that really moved me, because it's just like how different pieces are coming together to make that building together, the blocks.
That's
So
right.
it's like that. And I think it was a great takeaway in terms of talking about the practical tools of how to implement and how to incorporate habits in ourselves. But there's something
That's right.
which is again two sides of the coin, and it is more like, if someone has zero discipline with clothes, and we all agree that we all have at certain point in time, or maybe someone is like that, what's a fun first step for them that can be not boring, not too strict, but something fun they can start with to, you know uh,
Okay.
towards
Yeah.
that journey?
Yes. Well, fun, fun games, for example, it's a good strategy. We can say to our client that it has zero discipline and motivation, okay, let's make it fun. Let's say, for example, um, this is, I already mentioned, but this is the week when you choose to wear yellow, for example. This is yellow week because we already know that person has something yellow and she likes yellow, but she's lazy and she never uses it, but she loves it. It happens a lot. I love yellow. It's more energetic. It's fun, but I don't use it because I don't know how to use it. Okay. The challenge here is this week you use yellow 3 times, for example. This is a game. Just use it wherever you want, but send me a picture as your image consultant. I want to see. So that's the commitment. She is having fun. We are not making like, anything, how can I say? Uh, we are not judging, okay? Okay, yellow doesn't go with that color or yellow doesn't suit you. Okay, we are not judging. We're just playing. Use this
Yeah.
color this week 3 times?
No rights and wrongs. More like no rights and
Yeah, make
wrongs.
it
Just express. Yeah. Just make it a
make it
game.
fun. Make it a
Yeah.
game, and maybe we can start from there because maybe the client comes back and say, "Okay, yes, I realize this yellow doesn't suit me, or I don't like it." Or maybe she comes and say, "Oh, my God, I felt so energetic this week, and I received so many compliments for wearing this color." So another motivation start.
Yeah. True. That's yeah, and they can be we can be as creative as the in this, I think,
Yeah.
of making it like a game and just something like a judgment free zone for people to
Yeah.
express themselves and just do experiments and things that they have not done before and just see how it comes out altogether.
Yeah, because image consultants sometimes we have a bad reputation about being like the fashion police. I know in I don't like working like that. Of course,
True.
we guide our clients to express themselves and be a better version of themselves, but we are not the police. So
True.
it's better to start not judging, because when you let people do what they want or play, you get to know them better and then you can
Yes.
help them better.
Yes. Agree. That's
Yeah.
that's one of the things that leads to the next conversation that we are going to have, and I think that's another side of it. So
Yeah.
we all know and say that style or fashion or dressing for that matter is not just vanity. It has a lot to do with your inner self and how you portray. So that's where this comes into the picture, that style, habits and confidence and how they are interlinked. So style, we all know and agree as image consultants, of course, that style isn't just about what we wear. It goes much deeper. It plays a key role in shaping our confidence, saving us time, and even influencing how sustainable and mindful we become with time. So, Veronica, with all your years of experience working with clients and in different areas and in different, I would say, domains, you would probably have seen this ripple effect firsthand. So, we would love to hear some deeper wisdom from you on style, habits, and confidence, and how they are interrelated, and maybe what's the ripple effect of style habits on self confidence. And it's just like understanding it more with your years of experience, and then something again having a practical touch to it.
Well, yes, I really like this part because I think that when you get to this point, you know that you help your client. Um, for example, sometimes you receive a woman that is uncomfortable with herself, and she comes to you and comes and I don't like this part of my body. Sometimes you get those, no? I don't like this. I'm not sure about that. I don't know what to wear. I don't find anything at the stores. They come in a negative way. So you start working with them. Then you start with helping them understand their color, helping them understand what type of clothes suit them best, and we start to show them how to put together outfits. So they start seeing herself in a different way. Oh my God, look at this. I look gorgeous in this blue. Um, my husband loved it. My friend told me, what did you do? What are you wearing? And she comes with more confidence, no? And there is where the ripple effect starts, because she starts showing up in a different way, because she has more confidence. She's feeling different. I always tell this
Yes.
to women. So, because sometimes women are, especially when they are older or they are changing their lives, that maybe uh, after 40, let's say, because society is hard on women and age. Even though we are changing, we are not changing that much. So I get a lot of women uh, that start feeling like invisible, or they are not comfortable with their bodies, maybe their looks, or maybe uh, sometimes teenage daughters are very judging of their mothers. So
Yes.
their self-esteem starts to go down, and you say, okay, you have for sure one thing that can that you need to stand out, you need to enhance. Okay, it can be your face, your hair, your shoulders, your waist, anything. And when you tell them, they start to think, oh yes, for sure, I have something. So you help them, okay, with, okay, you want to enhance your looks, your hair, your So you can wear some earrings. You can wear this color close to your face. And then she starts receiving compliments, and then she starts feeling better. And then she starts showing up with more confidence. And she wants to do more things for her life. In her work, in her social life, she wants to interact with more people. That's the ripple effects for me. Okay. Because it comes from inside. It's
Yeah.
something external, but shifts their self image and the way she sees herself. But it's always that, how we see ourselves, not
Okay.
how others see us. For
Yeah.
me, that's the most important ripple effect. And I work for that. I love when women come and say, okay, I feel so much better with this. And I'm the same person, but I make some adjustment and I value what I have.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
more
an answer?
that's more
Yeah,
important.
I like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
embracing and just valuing what you have, and knowing, first of all, I think knowing that you have this, and then embracing. Amazing. I just
Yeah.
I just went with the flow, and I was, because this topic is like that. It's very I think it's very deep, it's very emotional at times, it's
Yeah.
very personal in a lot of aspects, and it is definitely very impactful. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing all the all those insights, and of course with some of the examples that can we can all relate to. So we talked about the ripple effect, right? And we would love to agree that sustainable style habits save our time and mental energy, definitely. So how does this tie into living with more purpose or intention? Could you share your views on the same? On number one, of course, it saves time, it's sustainable, but how as an individual it helps us being more mindful and having more intention and purpose? So anything, maybe briefly, anything that you would like to share.
Yes. Okay. Well, we talk about when I think these habits can help you feel more or live more in a light way. Because, when you have a lot of stuff, you don't know what to wear, you use a lot of your time that you can, and your energy that you can use in another aspect of your life. So, sustainable habits related to image and personal style can help you, for example, enjoy a social event, interact with your colleagues at work in a different way. I remember I once have a client that she was a mother of two young children. She worked in a corporate company, and she had to travel a lot, and she was telling me, okay, it's really painful for me to leave my house, because I have two children, I have to travel for work. The day before, I'm planning my suitcase and I don't know what to wear. I take a lot of clothes with me, and I usually sleep less in my travel because I don't know what to wear. I don't feel confident. So we start working there. So we start working with a suitcase, just a suitcase. But you think, okay, something so banal like a suitcase. But what happened? We prepared for a short trip, all the outfits. And when she came, she said, oh my God, this was life changing for me. Why? Not because I feel pretty. I felt pretty and I felt like I was dressed for the occasion, but I had more time with my kids in the previous day of my trip. I was more relaxed. I was present with them because I have this soul. Okay, So during the trip, I had more time to sleep. I had more time to interact with my colleagues. I show up more confident to the meetings with my boss and with the other members of the company. So that is sustainable because this is a habit she's going to keep. Those outfits can be useful for another trip. But this helps with what kind of life she wants. She wants to have more time with her family. She wants to interact more with his or her boss, and to enjoy that part of her work that is traveling. That was a nightmare. And it just came with go to your wardrobe, organize outfits for the occasion, and you'll have more time for what you want. I think that's sustainable and that can lead to a happier life. But you need to take
Yeah.
the time to do it. She had to take the time to be with me and prepare the things. It's like an investment
Yeah.
for a better
That's
future.
true, and being more intentful and mindful about your life, your personal space, and
Yeah,
the balance of your life. So, with this, I think
yeah,
we kind of wrap the entire conversation around how habits are impactful and important, not just for the transformations or just for the dressing and style, but also for the confidence that we
yeah.
build in with time of that transformation. So but before ending this, we would love to go over a quick rapid fire with you, some questions maybe of your personal, something that like a takeaway.
Yeah.
And yeah, with this we would love to wrap this beautiful conversation that we are having with Veronica, and we are honored to have her here, sharing all the wisdom and all the experience from her career, life,
Mm.
and education. Of course, she's a VP of education, so I'm pretty sure there's so many things on the education side that goes on in your mind. So let's get into the quick rapid fire round. One style habit you never skip.
Um, I would say skincare. Yeah,
Ah,
for
that's
sure. Yeah,
that's more like respecting yourself. it's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's very,
Skincare is really important.
yeah, and you glow, trust me.
Oh, thank you.
True. The habit you had to unlearn, maybe in your journey ever.
Well, yeah. Well, we talk about how to prepare things in advance, but what I have to unlearn is sometimes you get really or a little bit rigid with that. Maybe you wake up the next day and you have a change of plans or you are feeling different. So the habit I need to learn is to be more flexible, Maybe you need to change things. So
Yeah.
that's important too,
Okay.
because you can't wear very tight outfit if you are not feeling okay, for example. Or maybe you were planning to wear a dark color and you're feeling a little low and you want to use a bright color to cheer you up. So that's something that is important. And I needed to learn to be more
Wow.
flexible with that.
Yeah, it's important to first, accept that I need to change this or unlearn this.
Yeah.
Amazing of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. Your go-to power outfit in 3 words.
Um, I would say one word, monochrome. I love
Wow.
monochromatic outfits. Yes.
Yeah.
They're great.
I've seen that, and you looked
Yeah.
amazing in all those.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, I love them.
I would love to have some pictures of you, and maybe we can share with the audience of
Of course.
how it just not words for you, but it actually means confidence for you because it just reflects in your presence. So
Okay, well, thank you. Yes, for sure, I will share.
yeah, all right. And if we peeked into your wardrobe right now, what's that one piece
Mm.
that totally reflects Veronica?
Oh, okay. I think maybe suits. I've been wearing suits for a while in different colors. I love them because, you can wear monochromatic outfits and you can wear with a pop of color. And it makes you look taller and more elegant. So that's why maybe different color suits. Yeah, jacket
Wow.
and pants. Yes,
Yeah.
and pants need to be comfortable for me right now. I'm
Yes.
wearing, yeah, with a good drape and comfortable. Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Thank you. And
you're very
if
welcome.
you, what's your personal mantra when it comes to building sustainable style? That your way of things for you.
Hmm. For me, okay. I have a few. For example, one is very very common, but uh, it's better to wear less than a lot. When in
Mm-hmm.
that, wear less for me. That never disappoints me. And also, small changes and big impact is another one. We are talking about this.
Yes, we have been.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. All right, and with this, we come to the end, and I just have the last question, and which is again a very quick one. If you had to give listeners just one style habit to start with tomorrow morning, would it be? A very quick one that they can right away start with.
Yeah, add an accessory, you know, it can change your outfit. And it
Yeah.
can also be, also maybe add lipstick,
Mm-hmm.
something easy to do, but really changing. It can change your
Wow.
looks. Yeah,
Thank you for
that's
having all
great.
those answers, and especially for speaking for so long, and
Oh, you're very welcome.
sharing everything from your experience to your client experience and to your own experiences. I think this was very insightful session, not just, I would say, for style per se, but in life as a whole, how important it is, and how every and this, I think one of the major takeaways for me was how each concept can be incorporated in everything that you do. So especially when you talked about the habit stacking and goal based habits and identity based, and how that can be implemented, that perspective, that is something which was the biggest takeaway for me. So thanks for all the wisdom and all the information. I am sure the audience is going to take a lot of takeaways from this and build start building those little habits which can lead to bigger changes and bigger impacts. And we will be out with the more and more such episodes and such learning insights from our guests and experts globally, and from round different, I would say, different aspects of work, domain, and geographies. So thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, and keep following us, keep supporting us, and keep learning with us.
Well, thank you so much, Ruchi, for the invitation, for having me. It's been an honor and a pleasure. I had a really great time. It's always nice talking to you. I'm really glad that you have this podcast going on, and I wish you all the success. I will follow for sure and listen to your episodes. I think it's a great idea to invite different people from different parts of the world with a different perspective, because in that way you can contribute to the image consultant community and show the others that this is a very um, connected profession with another ones,
Yeah,
and that can this is very important, that it is not something superficial. It is
yeah,
very linked to who we are, how we want to show up to the world. We can really help people from our profession in different ways. And this is amazing that you are spreading the word and showing all this. So I'm very, very honored to have been part of this and to be invited. And I had a great time. I always have a great time with you, you know?
thank
Yeah,
you.
I remember we met by email, but it was very nice to meet you in person. So I hope we can see each other again, maybe in the next global conference.